I recently did a video showcasing my home theater setup. In that video, I spoke about the Samsung Q950t sound system, which is this. If you missed that video, make sure to give it a watch and click the card at the top. Once you're done watching that video, come back here because today we're going to dive a little bit deeper into the Q950t, and I'm sharing my personal experience using this incredible sound system. The Q950t Soundbar is Samsung's 2020 flagship and successor to the 2019 Q90R. It's a 9.1.4 channel delivery system that pushes a total of 546 watts. It supports Dolby Atmos and DTS-X, and is one of the few soundbars on the market that supports Dolby Vision and HDR10+ pass-through. The system consists of 4 components, as you can see. It includes a soundbar that measures 48.81 inches by 4.29 inches by 4.21 inches, and it weighs 12.12 pounds. And as you can see, this thing is pretty big. A subwoofer that measures 8.26 inches by 15.86 inches by 15.86 inches, and it weighs 21.60 pounds. Lastly, there's a pair of rear speakers that measure 4.72 inches by 8.26 inches by 5.55 inches, and they weigh 4.62 pounds each. The I/O on the soundbar itself consists of 2 HDMI inputs, 1 HDMI output, and of course eARC support is on board. All of the HDMI connections support HDR content. If your TV doesn't support eARC, there is an optical digital input. The soundbar also has Bluetooth and Wi-Fi on board for wireless connectivity, which is important since the entire system is, of course, wireless. The design of the Q950t is striking and a bit more modern than the previous version, in my opinion. Between the angular design and the Cavrat fabric, the Q950t not only looks awesome, but it feels great as well. Based off of my use and time with this system, the Cavrat fabric has held up very well. So if you're looking at this as a long-term investment, you shouldn't have anything to worry about cosmetically. The only issue I had when it comes to overall durability is with the subwoofer, which is more my fault than anything, I would say. Like many people, I have a robotic vacuum that is scheduled to run at night. I've noticed on several occasions that the vacuum will bump into the subwoofer, causing small little scuffs. After switching around the position of the subwoofer and then going into the vacuum app to block off this area, I haven't had any more issues, but it is something to keep in mind. If you do notice small scuffs on the subwoofer, try to use a little bit of dish soap and warm water to remove any residue. If that doesn't work, isopropyl alcohol is your best friend, and that should take off any residue or paint that is left over from your vacuum. Going back to the soundbar, it features navigation buttons up top as well as an LED display. This is definitely my biggest complaint when it comes to the Q950t. The LED display is completely unreadable if you're trying to dial in settings while you're sitting down. You'll need to stand up and walk over to the soundbar, look down at it in order to see what you're changing. If you're using a Samsung TV with eARC support, this may not be a big deal, but for the people trying to use this sound system with a non-Samsung TV, it could get a little annoying when dialing in settings. Another workaround is to use the Samsung SmartThings app since the Q950t is fully supported. I never found myself using the actual buttons on the soundbar since the remote is very useful and has a great design, but I can see people getting frustrated if they're trying to use these buttons due to the lack of contrast between the buttons and the Cavrat fabric. I would love to see Samsung release systems like this in white as well as the black that's currently available. I think this would allow consumers to match their current entertainment setups a little bit more easily, and it would give them the opportunity to improve the contrast between the buttons and the fabric. I've been using the Q950t with the 75-inch 2020 Q90t, and this combo is sweet. The soundbar sits comfortably right below the TV on the stand itself, which almost gives the TV a floating look since the stand is pretty much hidden. Setting everything up took about 25 to 30 minutes. This includes connecting the soundbar to the TV and then connecting the additional components to the soundbar, which involves pressing small connection buttons on the back of the soundbar, subwoofer, and surrounds. Normally, it would have taken me less time, but I ran into a few issues where the rear speakers would not pair right away with the soundbar. I basically just had to power them down and then repeat the steps a couple times over and over until they paired. It's no biggie, it just took a few extra minutes. Speaking of pairing, Keep in mind that despite this entire system being wireless, you'll need to plug each component into the wall, so there is going to be power cords that you'll need to manage. The surround speakers include wall mount brackets, so a stand isn't necessary, but if you're like me and you want to use a stand, there are little holes on the back of the speakers to mount the stand. I picked up one from Amazon, which was really cheap. It was like 60 bucks on sale. I'll link it in the description, and it's been working really, really good, and it includes multiple brackets for multiple size speakers. Sound quality, in my opinion, is on another level with the Q950t. For starters, the entire system, despite being 4 components, consists of 14 speakers total. The soundbar itself has 7 speakers. You have 3 forward facing, you have 2 angled, and then you have 2 upward firing speakers. The rear surround speakers or globes feature front firing and upward firing speakers. The subwoofer, of course, handles all of the bass and low frequency effects. When everything is working together, it's by far one of the most immersive sound experiences I've personally experienced. The secret to this is ensuring it's reflecting the sound waves off of the walls and ceilings in your house. This works in conjunction with a new feature called Q Symphony, which allows the Q950t to utilize the rear speakers of your compatible Samsung TV, adding to that 14 speaker setup. Various drivers were engineered inside of Samsung's Audio Lab in California, with 3 front channels using dual woofers and a wide range tweeter to create an expansive soundstage. The new corner firing speakers on the soundbar bounce sound effects off of the side walls to strengthen the surround effects. Upward firing speakers reflect off of the ceiling to build on that immersive surround experience. In the end, you're basically sitting inside a bubble made of sound waves, so no matter where you're sitting, you should get an excellent experience. That said, for best results, you need to look at the environment you're planning on setting this up in. A low, flat, and reflective ceiling is one of the most important things to keep in mind and is highly recommended. In order to really dial in the proper settings for each speaker, you'll need a disc to generate the required test tone audio. You'll also need to use an SPL meter or download an app to measure the tones when setting the levels. There are plenty of free apps out there, such as the Decibel X app and the iOS App Store, as well as the Google Play Store. If I'm being honest, for the price of this system, it would have been nice to see this type of thing implemented inside of the SmartThings app. For example, I also have a Sonos Playbase, and on initial setup, it has you download the Sonos app. From there, the Sonos app utilizes your smartphone's microphones as it plays specific tones while you walk around the room. It then uses that information to tune the speakers for the best sound experience. Like I said, this would have been an easy implementation for Samsung within their own app. I just don't get why it's not there. Personally, I've been using this system in its default state or with one of the various sound modes, which include standard, surround, game pro, and adaptive sound. Feel free to pause the video so you can read what each mode offers. Even without doing any tweaking to the speakers and using the built-in presets, the sound is incredible and it blows away my Sonos Playbase. And that it should, it is double the price. There's a lot of neat little additional features packed away inside of the Q950t system. Of course, Bixby is on board, so creating Bixby routines is possible if that's something you're into. Additionally, the system is equipped with Amazon Alexa support, so if you're invested in the Amazon smart home ecosystem like I am, controlling your smart home is very easy using the soundbar. All you need to do is say your key phrase and you'll see the voice assistant interface pop up on the bottom of your Samsung TV, or you'll hear the chime. You can also utilize the Q950t as one of the best Bluetooth speaker systems on the market by streaming music from your smartphone directly to the sound system. It supports Apple Music, Amazon, Spotify, Deezer, Samsung Music, which I didn't know was still a thing, plus much, much more. It's easy to put the Q950t in pairing mode inside of the SmartThings app, so really the streaming compatibility is limitless. Also, the system supports tap sound, which works by using NFC on your compatible smartphone, more or less. Simply tap your compatible smartphone to the speaker while you're streaming music and it will start playing on the system. It's more of a party trick, honestly, but still, it's a pretty neat touch, no pun intended. With a price tag of around $1,400 at the time of this video, the Q950t is a very premium sound system, but it delivers the best sounding experience I have personally had to this day. The key features and highlights of this setup completely outshine any of the quirks that I had personally. This is why I can confidently recommend it to anyone looking to really step up their home theater setup with sound that could possibly piss off the neighbors. After using the Q950t, I feel spoiled, and once you try it, you'll know exactly what I mean. All right, that's the end of this video. Let me know in the comments what you're currently using for your sound setup. If you enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a thumbs up, subscribe for more videos just like this, and I'll see all of you beautiful people in the next video.